tonight, City Council met again at the Rec Center, obviously for social distancing. This was our last meeting in March. Actually, our meeting earlier in March was postponed just because there was not a lot on the agenda. Tonight is actually one of my favorite things to do. We have a proclamation for the Westside High School girls basketball team. They won the Class 4A state championship, so it's always fun when you kind of get to recognize your local schools, your local community members. So these girls obviously worked extremely hard throughout the year. They beat North Myrtle Beach in Aiken a couple weeks ago for the state championship. So it's always great when you're able to recognize your local community members. After that, actually, we did a proclamation in recognition of Anderson University in their 4th annual A-Day. That's their 24-hour fundraising drive. Anderson University, I can't speak enough about AU. They're huge for the community. They support our community. They're really a cornerstone institution in the city of Anderson. After that, we jumped into the business of our meeting. The first thing we did was second reading of an ordinance that amended the City of Anderson Business License Ordinance. Essentially, it exempts owner-occupied commercial property from business license requirements. Essentially, that means that businesses in the city that own their property and maybe pay themselves rent for an accounting purposes. So essentially that kind of exempts them from that ordinance. So it's good for our businesses. After that, we jumped into new business. The first thing we did was we appointed and reappointed people to the Anderson Accommodations Tax Advisory Committee. That's something that's required by state law. So these are people who essentially volunteer for the position. We definitely want to thank them for the service that they give to our community, and they're very civic-minded individuals. So it's always great to have people like that in our community willing to serve. After that, we did something which is great that we do on occasion. We entered into a mutual aid agreement with the City of Belton's Police Department. City of Anderson, we work with multiple municipalities in the area in mutual aid agreements. So essentially that means in a natural disaster or any kind of other special event, they can help us, we can help them, and obviously we train together, so that's great for both municipalities, Belton and Anderson. After that, we extended the mask ordinance for another 30 days, so we'll revisit that again in 2 more council meetings. So now it's set to expire April 26th. So we'll revisit that again sometime soon. The last thing we did was we consented to the inclusion of about 40 acres of the old Anderson Country Club and put it into the joint county industrial and business park. That's something that actually the county does, but just because it's within city limits, we consented to it.